Hello there. Welcome to a nice short and spicy strength class for your whole leg system. Okay, we're going to be working through a few different ankle, knee, hip inputs, as well as some conditioning for how those three joints work together in some lunging and squatting. In terms of props, we're going to be working from standing, so you might want something to touch or hold on to for balance help. We'll also be working on the floor, so you'll want a little open floor space. And lastly, you'll want a pillow to sit on and maybe to hug for a little extra contraction help. Once you have that, go ahead and come into just a nice standing position away from the wall so we can warm up your spine. All right, from here, hug yourself or cross your arms out in front of you for a nice upper body brace. Squeeze your glutes and your quads to make sure your lower body is on, and then start to peel your spine forward into flexion. Your head will go first, then your shoulders, working through those upper back segments, and then continue rounding forward to try to hunt for a stretch in your lower back, making sure that your pelvis doesn't fall back behind you as you get there. Then from here, keep your belt buckles still and start turning to your left, twisting your spine from this flex shape. When you can't twist anymore, start to tip your shoulders back behind you. Good, and you'll notice you're still in a twist, and now come out of that twist as you move into extension. Straight on, but now extended and reaching your chest to the sky. Twist now to the right, finding as much twist as you can from extension, and then from here, tip your shoulders forward into flexion, finding that twisted and forward flexed position before coming back to center and hold it here. Take a moment to blow all the air out of your body. We're curling and rounding your spine up more. Hips stay still. And let's do a rep to the right. So twist to the right. Keep that twisted feeling as you tip your shoulders back into extension. Once you're fully extended, untwist your spine to move into extension, and then continue twisting off to the left. Once you've maxed out that twist to the left, your belt buckle's still square ahead, tip your shoulders forward to come into that rounded, flexed shape, and finish off straight forward. Good. All right, and come up tall. So we'll leave it there for now. Now from here, place your hand on that immovable object that's going to provide a little stability or support for you. Make a fist with your outside hand, and then we're going to try to move the leg that is on the supported side. Okay, so you can really like lean into that wall if you're using a wall, push down on the counter if you're using a counter. From here, bring that moving leg up into flexion and external rotation. Good. From there, make your focus be on not letting your body move as you reach your shin out to the side. Keeping your belt buckle still, reach that heel behind you. And then sweep that thigh all the way behind until you brush your other thigh and freeze. And then go backward. Now I encourage you to keep this motion of your leg pretty small. So it's a small hip car for now, so that you can really feel the stability demand on the rest of your body. Good, and then once you're cutting across, start a second rep and maybe make the hip car a little bit larger now. Finding that contraction sensation as your knees come together, and then reaching your leg back, reaching it out to the side, bringing that thigh up and forward, and finishing making sure you're as externally rotated as you can get, and relax. Great stuff. Just turn your body around. Other hand on the stability object. Make a fist. And again, invest in the stability of your braced body and then move your working leg. Now the other leg coming up into flexion and external rotation. Once you've found that, reach your leg out to the side. But don't reach it as far as possible. Reach it as far as you can without your pelvis turning. Then reach your heel behind you. Bring those knees to touch or as close as they can get. And then reverse back. Shin up to the side. Keeping that lift as your knee comes forward of your body and you rotate that thigh into external rotation to cut across the other leg. And final rep, bracing even more if you can find it, knee to chest, knee out to the side. Rotate your thigh to reach your heel behind you. Really sending that leg all the way back behind to touch your knees together. And then finish up this final car, shin up to the side, knee reaching up towards your armpit, keeping your spinal shape strong. Cut that leg all the way across, finishing an external rotation. Okay, very nice work. So lastly, we just want to ramp up this feeling that we always want when we're strength training, which is really your brace. And we want to get a nice controlled sense of that. So for that, I'm going to have you come into what's called like a horse stance, or maybe like just a squat stance, little wide squat stance. Feet out wider than your shoulders. Toes can turn out a little bit, just up to what's comfortable. And then a little bend in your knees, bend in your ankles. Okay? The idea here is that you feel very connected to the floor. So I want you to imagine that roots have grown from the bottom of your feet down into the ground, and you are actually rooted 5 feet underground. Okay, that's going to be your focus as we add contraction. From here, press both hands together in front of you, feeling just a little pressure at first, and then keeping that rooted sense through your feet, start to increase the pressure of your hands pushing together by 10%. So now you're up at that 10 or maybe to 20% effort. Continue building percentage by percentage, like we're turning up a dial smoothly to 30%, 40%, 50%, feeling your body turn into an even more muscly statue. Bring it up to 75%, and then stay rooted as you bring it up to your greatest safe effort, 100% for 10 seconds. You should feel like someone couldn't push you over. They couldn't pull your arms apart for 3, 2, 1, and relax your body. Very nice. Shake it out. Okay, and we're just going to try that one more time. This time, we're going to try a different shape for your hands. So instead of pushing, you're going to pull. And then the second thing we're going to do is ramp back down just as smoothly as we ramped up. So we're going to get to 100%, but now you're going to control the ramp down. So adjust your horse stance as needed to feel strong and comfortable. Bend the knees, sit into your hips. Find a position where your low back feels happy and ready to work. And then really imagine you're rooting down through the floor. Okay? Once you feel solid there, place your hands on top of each other and then wrap your fingers around. This should make a nice strong grip so that you can begin trying to lightly pull your hands apart. Just 10% effort to start. Then as you ramp it up to 20%, feel that more muscles in your arms come online. 30%, 40%, staying rooted. 50%, your whole body should start to pay attention here. 60%, continue building smoothly and with control all the way up to that super strong 100% effort, and hold it here. Can you root deeper? Can you get more of your body involved with this pull? And now gradually let's ramp it down. 99%, 98%, 97%, all the way down like that through 90%, 80, 70, 60, 50. Take your time, stay under control. 40, 30, 20, 10, and now 0. Excellent job. Okay, so that's going to set us up great for our strength work now. So we're going to get our first set of lunges in, and we're going to offer many different lunge positions here today. The first one is where your feet are just going to be planted in place. So let's work all together with the right foot forward. Okay, and then step your left foot. You can face me, yeah. And then step that left foot back in a diagonal behind that right foot. So not straight in line for sure, but maybe out to the side. Yeah, that's a good angle, okay? And then once you get there, corkscrew your back leg so that you're resting on all of your toes, okay? We're not just opening up the hip, all right? Then from here, really rooting through that front foot, just like we were with horse stance, You could make two tight fists out to the side or hands on pelvis. Start to lower yourself down as low as feels good on your knees and hips. Okay? And then back up. Go only as high as feels good. Continue moving down and up for 20 seconds, feeling the tension and fatigue maybe building in the front quad, the back quad, and notice that there are many ways your body could accomplish this motion. Try not to groove into just one way, but stay open to little micro adjustments your body might be asking for. 10 more seconds, moving at the speed and to the depth that feels safe but strong. Good, and come all the way back up. Very nice work. Okay, shake it out and switch which leg is forward. So now your left foot is rooting into the ground. Your right foot is corkscrewing. So yeah, there is a little internal rotation of that back hip. And then from here, brace your upper body and begin descending down, only going as low as feels strong. Good. If your knee is able to get to the floor, just a quick note, please do not relax onto that knee. If you feel like you need to relax, then maybe don't go all the way to the floor for now, and we'll see if that range opens up for you. Great work. Noticing how this side feels different than the other side. Does it feel stronger? Do you feel more secure or less secure? No judgment needed on any of those, just good to become aware of. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and melt it away. Okay, so we're going to return to that basic shape to get a little more strength training in, but let's see if we can talk to the hips and ankles a little bit. Come down into a 90-90 position. Okay, and let's work with the left leg as your forward leg, and so your right leg will be your back leg. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, and then from here, check on your 90-90. Is your front shin and back thigh parallel or in train tracks to each other? What about your front thigh and back shin? Okay, finally, is your belt buckle facing towards your front knee? Okay, those will be your basic check marks to see if you're in 90-90. Now from here, we're going to focus on the ankles first. So go ahead and just turn your head to look at your back ankle and see if you can turn the bottom of that foot towards the ceiling. Just try it a couple times. It might not actually move away from the floor, but you should feel some serious contraction happening on the side of your lower leg, and that's what we're after. Okay? So give it a few more chances. Good. If you do get some motion, realize that that motion is your heel bone moving relative to your shin bone. Okay? On your next lift, I want you to hold that lift and really ramp up that contraction as much as you can. Keep that happening. Keep it going, and let's focus on the front ankle. Can you tilt the front ankle or foot towards the ceiling? There you go. Okay? And then back down, just try a couple with that front foot. The whole time, this back ankle is working hard. We're training there even as we're checking in on the front ankle. Okay? The next time you tilt the front foot, hold it. And then, like we were ramping before, ramp up the whole tension in your body to see if you can tilt the bottoms of both feet towards the ceiling anymore. 5, 4, even more. Can you ask for more? 3, 2, could you cramp anything in those calves? And relax them both down to the ground. Awesome. Okay, we'll come back to that on the other side. But for now, let's focus on the hip. So actively press your front knee down into the floor using your leg strength, not just your arm. And then bracing your upper body and your torso, start asking that back knee to get lighter and lighter on the floor, but not because you're tilting your pelvis or rotating your pelvis, just because that leg is starting to get light. Once you have those feelings on of front knee down, back knee light, now start to turn your pelvis towards that back knee, trying your best to keep the front knee connected to the floor as long as you can. When you feel like you can no longer keep that front knee to the floor, start to let that front knee come off the floor actively asking those knees to stretch apart from each other and inviting your arms to prop up on the ground however you need. Good. Traveling through this middle position, keep those knees strongly apart and start hunting for the floor with what was your back leg and is now your front leg. Once you pin it down to the ground, your back knee should still be floating. Start to turn your pelvis towards that front kneecap. And then actively, smoothly lower that back knee towards the floor. So we're not just collapsing it down. Okay? Nice. Now once we're here, relax your hips and let's focus again on the ankles. Focus on that back ankle again, tilting the bottom of your foot towards the ceiling as much as you can, and realizing that this is a joint and a position that's already very limited. We're training ankle eversion with this back ankle. So if you just get a little wiggle or you're just getting contraction on the side of your calf, then that's what your body is needing today to work on an eversion. On your next lift, hold that tilt, max it out, and then focus on your front foot, your front ankle. Can you tilt that front foot up towards the sky as your back foot stays reached towards the sky? Good. A couple taste tests. This front ankle is working on ankle inversion, the opposite direction. On the next lift, hold that ankle inversion and max it out. Imagine somehow these muscles that are holding both ankles into rotation are trying to lift 100 pounds. So it's a lot of effort for a little bit of motion. 5, 4, 3, asking for more, not giving up yet. 2, 1, and slowly melt that away. Awesome. Okay, turning the lights on in your ankles. Now brace your upper body and then pin that front knee to the floor. We're going to do one more 90-90 switch to get back. Make your back knee light as that front knee is heavy. Great, not letting your pelvis turn yet. And then keep that back knee light as you start to turn your pelvis or turn your belt buckle to face open or face towards that back side. Keeping your front knee on the ground as long as you can. When it starts to come away from the ground, because it has to, ask those knees to reach apart from each other like they're allergic to each other. Yeah, good. And then pin your left knee to the floor. Keep that right knee floating as you fully rotate your belt buckle towards the left. And then with control, lower that back knee down and set it down. Awesome. Okay, now come up to standing again. We're going to get our second set of lunges in here. Now, if the setup we used last round felt like, whoa, that's tough, maxed me out, I want you to stay with that setup. Front leg forward, back leg corkscrewed back. If you want to progress it, now what we'll do is, again, root through your right foot, just like we were setting up before, but start with your left foot right next to it, yeah, because now we're going to incorporate a little motion. So each rep, you will step diagonally back with the left foot, good, and then lower your hips down. Keep in mind, the majority of the work should be happening through that front foot, okay? Continue working like this on this side, trying roughly to get your back knee towards the floor, but again, never resting that knee down on the ground. Only going as low as you can stay rooted through the front foot, and as low as the ankle, toes, knees, whatever, are okay with. Good. 10 more seconds, working your reverse lunge. Not worrying too much about doing it the right way, but actually staying open to how does your body solve this movement task. Great stuff, and shake it out, let it go, okay? Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but we're gonna just show you a way to work around this drill if your big toe joint is really unhappy with the step back. It's a very common joint to have a little pain. So it would be very similar. Go ahead and root through your left foot. And then you're gonna reach your right leg diagonally back, but you're not gonna set it down. So take a look on just one rep as Hannah shows. She's gonna reach that leg back, squat down on the front leg, maybe even place the back foot on the ground, but not put much weight on it at all as she descends. It will mean you don't descend quite as far, and that's fine. Okay, now join us here, either stepping back and loading that back leg for a reverse lunge, or reaching it back and just keeping the load on the front foot. Let's get 25 seconds of reverse lunges here. Good. Now we're really intending this class to be a sort of shorter, like maybe a lunch break leg strength class. So if you happen to have a kettlebell or some sort of heavy weight around, you could definitely incorporate that in, especially on re-watches of the class. Last 5 seconds. And finish that setup. Awesome. Okay, now come back down onto the floor, and we're going to get into a position here that you visited in your 90-90 setup, but it's actually the middle part of that 90-90 switch. We call it sometimes a bear sit position or a straddle 90-90 position. And when you get set up here, depending on the flexibility of your hips, you might want to lean back on your hands, or you might even want to lean back against the couch or a wall so that your spine is supported. And that's totally going to work today. Okay? Then once you're here, actively reach your knees apart as far as you can, feeling the sides of your hips turn on. So we want to feel that like knees are allergic to each other thing again. Okay? Now keeping that reach out, this is going to be a little tricky. Don't let your right thigh move, but start asking your right shin and toes and foot to rotate in. Okay? Just try to grok that task for a second. And then rotate shin and toes back towards the floor, and then again in. So this is tibial rotation, knee joint rotation, but from an end range hip position. So if you have done tibial rotations before or knee capsule cards, try to connect your knowledge about that work with this new position. Maybe opening up 1 or 2% more in both directions. And depending on your knee joint, you might run into the floor before you fully externally rotate. That's okay. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that down. Okay, if you need to wiggle a little bit, that's fine. We're going to do the same thing on the other leg. Okay. Now, Hannah, if you might, yeah, turn a little bit, but also you might choose to be in more of an upright position where your elbows are locked into your inner thighs, and then you could just put your hands together or pull them apart or make fists, and the tibial rotation will work the same here. Okay, so pull toes up into gas pedal up, knees are actively reaching apart, and then focusing on this left shin now, turning in and out. Good. Now, as you get a sense of this, imagine that that whole lower leg is encased in a ski boot. So the whole thing has to rotate together. We're not getting a lot of toe motion that's separate from your shin. Good. Just using this time to try to upgrade this part of your body, this corner of your body. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, you can stay set up here. One more drill from this bear sit position. Lean back onto your hands or against an object for this one, okay? Once you get here, actively reach those knees apart, but then also reach your belly button forward. So we're almost trying to extend the spine. Good. Because your spine is going to try to collapse into flexion as we do this next drill. All right, so bracing here. Ask your left knee to reach out towards the floor and your left ankle to get light off the floor towards your midline, okay? Keep asking it to get lighter and lighter until it comes off the floor, realizing your knee might have to move a little bit. Then from here, show me one can. Straighten your leg out as much as you can and then bring it back. Good. Set the heel down. Brace. Now you know what's coming. We're going to do 2 more like that and then the other side.
Insta-cramp.
Insta-cramp. Okay. If insta-cramp is happening, you could bring that knee in a little bit or walk the feet away from you a little bit. That'll take you just out of end range. And then brace, belly button's reaching forward, knee out to the side, ankle in, and then straighten that leg, only moving from the knee down. Nice. If you can, tap your heel and do one more rep, reaching, hold that reach, 3, 2, shake and bake, slowly bring it back. Oh yeah, very nice. Good, okay? Lighting some things up in that hip. Let's do the right side. This time we're gonna do, oh thanks. This time we're gonna do 3 reps right in a row. We're gonna hold that 3rd rep for a 5 count, just like we did a second ago. Okay, so reach those knees wide, reach that belly button forward as much as you can, and then make your right ankle light while your right knee stays wide. Good. And then keep that thigh still as you straighten your leg, find a complete stop, bend the knee, tap the floor, and then right back out. Reaching, keeping that rotation on the thigh as you do. Heel comes in. Final rep. Knees are wide as the leg extends. Long as you can, hold it. 3, 2, 1. Smoothly bend that heel and bring it back. Awesome. All right, come back up to our 3rd set of lunges. Okay, now just like before, if the split squat version worked well for you, that's great. If reverse lunging felt good, you could stay with that. This is now the next progression. Only dive in here if you're feeling secure with the previous ones. Here, you're gonna root through your left foot again, but now you're gonna be stepping forward. So actually hand it back up just a little bit. Yeah, reach through that left foot. Root through that left foot, and then step your right foot forward and diagonally. Root through that leg and drop down. As you come up, you're going to drive through that front leg so that you can step back. Good, okay? Let's stay with this side. So the right leg keeps reaching forward to the diagonal and then roots through the ground to stand back up. Continue moving like this, or decide that reverse lunges or split squats were working better for you and get this set in for your single leg strength. Good. Now just a note that no strength training exercise is worth it if it's causing pain to your body, okay? That can sometimes be an exact opposite of the no pain, no gain thing. So just check in with yourself and see if you're fighting through some pain, and we don't want you to be fighting through any pain here. Only going as low as feels strong, only stepping as far as feels strong, and relax. Great, okay? Let's switch over to the other side. You're gonna be starting on your right foot and stepping with your left foot, but not straight forward, actually diagonally out to the left, okay? Here we go, let's fire it up. 30 seconds of lunge variation, your choice. Good. Each time you root through that front leg to either drive yourself back up to that reverse, or just pushing yourself back straight up to the sky in a split squat. Good. 10 seconds. And final rep here. Make it a great one, rooting through that front foot to drive yourself tall. Awesome. Okay. Now our last mobility drill, come into 90-90, but this time with your pillow, okay? So again, you can set up so that your left leg is forward, but that pillow is gonna be under your butt, so you can sit on the pillow, okay? This will mean your front knee is floating off the ground, and that's totally fine. And then find your best version of 90-90 here. It should feel actually a little more comfortable because you're elevated, all right? Then from here, bend your front knee. So maybe your front foot is touching your back thigh, or maybe it's just closer to that back thigh, okay? And then reach both hands out in front of you, nice tight fist, and use that reach to lean body weight forward until you can get your front knee to the floor. And then you're gonna anchor through your knee and shin to actually lift your butt up off the pillow. Good. And come all the way up to really extend your hips here. Find that butt squeeze, that extension. And then sit your hips back to touch the pillow without sitting down. So you just touch the pillow, back up. Good, try that a couple reps and see how easy is it to touch the pillow. Is it a no way, can't do it? Or is it a, I think I could go lower? Okay, and now go ahead and sit down on the pillow and relax. Okay, now if that touch of the pillow felt very easy and accessible, or at least an option for your body, open up that front knee joint just a few degrees. This will make it much harder. If on the other hand, you were like, no way could I touch the pillow, my knee was freaked out, whatever, you might want more pillows, okay? So go ahead and grab those, set yourself up higher. Let's do one full set now. Knee and shin connected to the floor at this new angle, reach your fists forward, and then leaning onto that front shin to get started, drive your hips up and forward, squeezing your butt best you can, and then sitting your hips back just to make contact with the pillow, but not relaxing onto it. Good. And back up. Yeah, those end ranges where you're touching the pillow will be very spicy feeling. So go slow, stay under control. Stay heavy through your front shin. Very important. We don't want to be losing that connection. Last 10 seconds. Driving your hips forward. Final rep, really strong upper body. And all the way up. Bueno, and relax, okay? Go ahead and set up into 90-90 on your other side. Awesome job, y'all. Okay, again, parallel train tracks to get started, okay? Yeah, perfect. The sound effects are key.
The sound of the train tracks.
And then get into a shape where your knee and shin could touch the ground. Yep, bending that front knee. Great, okay? Then once you're here, reach your fists forward, bracing your upper body strong, and feel your center of mass shift onto your shin so that you can drive your hips forward and up. Good. Yeah, micro-adjusting as needed. Okay?
Caught that.
Caught that? Okay, and then sit your hips back, trying to touch your butt to the pillow, but not relaxing down. And do a couple tester reps here. Realizing that this leg, this side, might feel totally different than the other side. You might need more pillows, or you might need to open your knee up. Okay, so go ahead and sit down. Let's take a moment to adjust as needed. If you need to make that drill a little harder, you're opening your knee joint up. Just a smidge works. If you're feeling like, sketched out, this is too much for that knee or hip, you might block those pillows up more. So you grab another pillow. Okay. From here, brace your hands. 1 30-second set of glory. Load onto that front shin, and then drive your hips up. Good. Once you feel that full extension, sit your hips back, touching your butt to the pillow, but not relaxing. And notice how Hannah's torso leans forward. That needs to happen. Good. All the way up each rep, keeping that weight on the shin as you descend. Working hard. Good. And final rep, sitting all the way back, reaching your hips back. Reach, reach, reach. You're not going to come back up. Keep reaching back as far as you can, and then settle back onto the pillow. Yes. Okay. Let's get that pillow out of there. We're going to wrap this class up with a final set of lunges. Okay. Now from here, this is really your choice time. Which of those 3 variations worked best for you? Hannah, if you mind showing just the split squat version, so both feet are separate and planted, moving like this, or maybe moving with a reverse lunge, so you start feet next to each other and you're stepping diagonally back, or maybe a forward lunge option where you're stepping diagonally forward and then back up, okay? I think for today, for us here, we're going to start with reverse lunges, okay? So loading onto that forward leg, stepping back. Go ahead and fire up your set of lunges. And let this be a moment of inviting some intensity, okay? So maybe you're doing a little extra pause at the bottom to feel that muscle work going on. Great. 15 seconds, always driving through that front foot to come back up. Your back leg will contribute, but you really want to feel the work and the drive from your front leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great stuff. Okay, shake it out a bit. And before we dive into the other leg, just a note that if you're coming back to this class in future weeks, you might grab a light weight to incorporate in a goblet position or in a suitcase position, just holding the handle. Okay, here we go. Loading through that front leg, picking the variation that works for you. Fire it up, team. Here we go. 30 seconds of leg-endary strength. I hope you caught that pun. Leg-endary. Here we go. 15 more seconds, driving through your front foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh yeah, great job. Pat yourself on the back for that amazing strength input you just gave to your body, and let us know any questions.